Everyone thought I was throwing my life away when I dropped out of college, quit my job, and moved into a van. My parents stopped talking to me. My friends said I was having a breakdown. 5 years later, I'm worth $8.3 million, and I never explained myself once. My name is Nicola, and I spend way too much time thinking about why we feel the need to justify our decisions to people who don't understand our vision. If you've ever been called crazy for doing something different, hit that subscribe button because this story is about the power of staying silent and letting results do the talking. Let me take you back to 2018. I was 23 years old, halfway through my senior year at UC Berkeley studying computer science. Good school, decent grades, internship lined up at a tech company that would pay $95,000 a year when I graduated. On paper, I had it figured out. But I was miserable. I'd been freelancing on the side since sophomore year, building websites for small businesses. By my junior year, I was making about $6,000 a month from freelancing while going to school full-time. I did the math. If I dropped out and focused on freelancing full-time, I could probably double or triple that income. But when I mentioned this to anyone, they looked at me like I'd lost my mind. My dad said, "You're one semester away from graduating. Are you insane?" My mom said, "What are you going to tell people when they ask where you went to college?" My girlfriend at the time said, "I don't understand. Why would you risk your future like this?" Nobody got it. And honestly, I didn't have the energy to explain it to them. Because here's what they didn't understand. I wasn't risking my future. I was betting on it. The job offer was $95,000 a year. After taxes in California, that's about $65,000 take-home. That's $5,400 a month. I was already making $6,000 a month freelancing part-time. So, in December 2018, I made 3 decisions that everyone thought were crazy. First, I dropped out of college with 1 semester left. Second, I turned down the job offer. Third, I moved into a van. When I told my parents, my dad didn't speak to me for 3 months. My mom cried. She told her friends I was having a mental breakdown. My girlfriend broke up with me. She said, "I can't be with someone who's this irresponsible." My friends stopped inviting me to things. The only person who didn't judge me was my younger sister. She said, "I don't really get it, but you seem happy, so do your thing." Everyone else thought I'd ruined my life. And I get it. From their perspective, it looked insane. College dropout, living in a van, doing freelance work. But here's what they didn't see. I had a plan. I just didn't feel like explaining it. I bought a 2012 Ford Transit for $8,000, spent another $2,000 converting it. My monthly expenses were about $800 total. Gas, food, gym membership for showers, phone bill. Compare that to my old apartment, which was $1,400 a month just for rent. Living in a van saved me about $2,000 a month minimum. My friends saw me living in a van and thought I was broke. I was actually saving more money than any of them. Here's what my days looked like. Wake up at 6 a.m., drive to a coffee shop, work until noon. Then drive to a different coffee shop or library and work until 6 p.m. 10 to 12 hours a day, 6 days a week. I was working constantly, but more importantly, I was learning. I taught myself advanced JavaScript, I learned React, I started charging more. By March 2019, 3 months after dropping out, I was making $12,000 a month. By June, I was $18,000 a month. My old classmates were graduating, starting their $95K a year jobs. I was making more than double that, living in a van, and nobody knew because I didn't post about it. I didn't update anyone. I just worked. Around August 2019, clients kept asking me the same questions about how to market their websites, how to get traffic, how to convert visitors. So I pivoted. Instead of just building websites, I started offering complete packages: website development, SEO, content strategy, and ongoing marketing. Instead of charging $3,000 to $5,000 for a one-time website, I charged a $5,000 setup fee plus $2,000 to $3,000 a month for ongoing work. Within 3 months, I had 8 clients on monthly retainers. That's $20,000 a month in recurring revenue. By December 2019, exactly a year after I dropped out, I was making $35,000 a month. I moved out of the van, rented a small studio apartment, but I still didn't tell anyone what I was doing. In 2020, the pandemic hit. Everyone thought I was screwed. Freelancer, no degree, no corporate job. Except the opposite happened. Businesses were desperate to get online. I was overwhelmed with work. So I started hiring. 2 developers, then a copywriter, then a designer. By the end of 2020, I had a team of 7 people. Revenue for the year, $680,000. My personal take, after paying everyone, $310,000. I was 25 years old, making $310,000 a year. My former classmates with their tech jobs were making maybe $120K. But I still didn't say anything because I wasn't done yet. In 2021, I took all the money I'd saved, about $400,000, and I bought a struggling digital marketing agency. The owner was burnt out and wanted to sell. I offered $350,000 if he'd stay on for 6 months to help with the transition. I merged my freelance operation with the agency, combined the teams, streamlined everything. First year revenue, $1.8 million. My cut, $620,000. Second year, $3.2 million. My cut, $1.1 million. Third year, $5.7 million. My cut, $1.9 million. We're now in late 2024. The agency is on track to do $9 million this year. I'll personally take home about $2.8 million. My net worth, $8.3 million. I'm 29 years old, and I still haven't really explained any of this to most people. About 6 months ago, my dad reached out. We hadn't really talked in years. He asked if we could have dinner. We met at a restaurant. He said, "Your sister told me you're doing well. What are you doing these days?" I said, "I run a digital marketing agency." "Like you work for one?" "No, I own it." Long pause. "How's that going?" "It's going well. We'll probably do $9 million in revenue this year." His face went blank. Then he said, "I owe you an apology. I thought you were making the biggest mistake of your life." I said, "I know. That's why I didn't try to explain it back then. You wouldn't have understood." He asked why I never told him what was happening. I said, "Because I wasn't doing it for you. I was doing it for me. And I didn't need your validation while I was figuring it out." Then he said, "I'm proud of you." It felt good to hear, but honestly, I didn't need it anymore. I'd already proven it to myself. Let me tell you what I learned. First, you don't owe anyone an explanation for your decisions. My parents couldn't visualize what I was trying to build. Explaining wouldn't have helped. Second, people judge based on what they can see. They saw me living in a van and assumed I was broke. They couldn't see the bank account. Third, staying silent is a power move. When you're explaining yourself constantly, you're seeking validation. When you execute and let results do the talking, you're operating from confidence. Fourth, traditional paths work for traditional people. But if you want something different, you have to be willing to look crazy for a while. Fifth, bet on skills, not credentials. My degree would have said I studied computer science. My bank account says I can build and scale businesses. Which one matters more? Sixth, live below your means while you're building. Living in a van wasn't fun, but it gave me runway to build without financial pressure. Seventh, people will rewrite history once you succeed. My dad now tells people that he always knew I'd figure it out. That's not true, but people want to be associated with success. I'm not going to pretend this was all easy. I lost relationships. My girlfriend left me. Friends drifted away because they thought I was on a bad path. I missed experiences. While my friends were enjoying their early 20s, I was working 70-hour weeks in a van. The loneliness was real. There were nights in that van where I questioned everything. And here's something nobody talks about. Success doesn't fix everything. I have more money than I ever imagined, but I still deal with anxiety. I still question whether I'm good enough. Having money solves money problems. It doesn't solve life problems. The real message. Here's what I want you to understand. This isn't a story about dropping out of college. The lesson is about betting on yourself even when nobody else will. It's about being comfortable with other people thinking you crazy. It's about not needing to explain yourself to people who don't understand your vision. It's about staying quiet, staying focused, and letting your results do the talking. Because here's the truth. People don't want explanations. They want results. When I was living in a van making decent money, nobody wanted to hear about my business model. They just saw a guy living in a van. Now that I'm successful, everyone wants to know my story. The difference? Results. Nobody respects the process. They only respect the outcome. So, if you're building something and people don't get it, here's my advice. Stop explaining. Stop justifying. Stop seeking validation. Put your head down and build. Let them doubt you. Let them think you're crazy. Because when you succeed, they'll rewrite the whole story anyway. They'll claim they believed in you. They'll say they saw it coming. And you'll smile and remember all those times they told you you had no future.
Because you didn't need their belief then, and you don't need their validation now. You just needed to believe in yourself and to be willing to look stupid for long enough to prove you were right. 6 years ago, I was a college dropout living in a van. People looked at me with pity. Today, I'm a millionaire running a multi-million-dollar company. The only thing that changed was time and persistence. I didn't get smarter. I didn't get lucky. I just refused to quit when everyone told me to. I stayed silent when I could have argued. I worked when I could have partied. I saved when I could have spent. I built when I could have given up. And now I'm living proof that you don't need to explain yourself to anyone. You just need to trust yourself enough to keep going when everyone else thinks you're wrong. Because the best response to doubt isn't an explanation, it's success.